Monday, March 3rd, 2025. Um, and I just quickly want to just recap a couple of things that happened on The View this morning in their discussion about the meeting with between Trump, Vance, and Zelenskyy in the Oval Office on Friday. Um, and, you know, uh, Whoopi was appropriately outraged by the whole thing. Um, and at one point, she said, she was clearly looking at her producers saying, I know we're not supposed to embarrass anybody, but come on, or something like that. And it was like, oh, that's clearly the mandate that they've been given. Don't embarrass, don't say anything that's embarrassing to Trump. Um, which is just like, it's so, like, let them say whatever they want to say. What's he going to do? Cut off ABC's ability to broadcast? Well, he might. Um, but anyway, that whole thing, the capitulation of the media to Trump is upsetting, and I like that we're getting little glimpses of what their sort of mandates are about that. It was pathetic to see Amy Alyssa Farfar Griffin ignore the whole thing altogether and just pick on Lindsey Graham, um, showing clips of him. We know he's a spineless weasel. We don't need any more evidence of that. Um, and yes, of course, it was planned. That they knew that they were going to attack him in that way. Um, Anna Navarro brought up Marco Rubio, which I think is like she does know these people. Um, and Marco Rubio, the pictures of him sitting on that couch, just like he so wants to disappear. And what a spineless piece of shit to not say something contradictory, even after the fact. He went on, I know, on social media and praised Trump, which is pathetic. Um, I don't know what that guy's thinking. I did see a clip. Somebody, I think it was Chris Murphy. Chris Murphy um, had voted to approve Rubio as Secretary of State and was asked on some political talk show um, if he regrets that, and he was like, "Yep, that was a mistake." He thought that Rubio would have the spine to stand up to him, but didn't. I don't know why you think Rubio would have the spine to stand up to him. He's capitulated through the first 4 years after attacking him in the on the campaign trail for the 2016 primary. Has just fallen in line and has been a lapdog ever since. So I don't know what makes you think that he would have stood up to Trump in any way whatsoever. Um, and somebody said on social media uh, regarding JD Vance, it would have been less embarrassing if he actually fucked that couch. Oh, which I found funny. Um, but uh, yeah, it's the you can't really um, overstate how badly this looks for the United States and how much it is prompting us towards World War III. But we all know that's happening, and I don't know how we stop it. I do feel like the majorities are so slim in the House and in the Senate. You get a handful of Republicans that have a spine to flip parties or at least go independent and remove the Republican majority. I mean, he hasn't done anything legislatively yet. Everything's been by edict, but or executive order, and are all being challenged in the courts. But it just feels like if you got six, seven, eight Republicans from the House and Senate um, to just drop their Republican affiliation, we could maybe get somewhere. And I think there's a lot of opportunity in the House with people because those districts are smaller and people don't want their congressman capitulating to everything that Trump does. And I think that it would save them some votes if they did. In the meantime, the Democrats should be having town halls everywhere. Oh, anyway, um, like the people of Vermont. Um, chasing JD Vance out of town, which was great. He should be shamed everywhere he goes. Um, and then, all right, I don't want to talk about that because we need to have just a short little discussion about the Oscars. Whoopi's dress was spectacular. It was like walking liquid. It was unbelievable. And the one dress that they didn't mention that I thought was the other most spectacular thing on a woman's body last night was Selena Gomez's dress. That was stunning. Um, I think for the most part, awards, I feel like they kind of went to the right place. I feel like Honora was way too over decorated. I did not like that film. I like that it was an independent movie. That it was, plucky. It was made for very little money, and they just sort of did it on their own and marketed it on their own. And I get all that, but it was a lot of yelling, just a lot of yelling, and a lot of unnecessary drama that's self-inflicted crap. And I don't like the movie because I didn't find anybody worth being invested in. I didn't like any of the characters in the story, um, except for one of the Russian henchmen who was really fucking hot, and he was nominated but didn't win. Kieran Culkin is not going to get Four Children, but he's the best run of award speeches of the season. I'm really disappointed that Demi Moore didn't get the Oscar for Best Actress. It's kind of way too on the nose for her to be nominated in a film about um, the poor treatment of aging actresses in Hollywood, and then to lose to a 25-year-old. Like that's just a little um, like too on the money for like it's the and it, whatever. And I guess Mikey Madison's performance is good. I mean, she did a lot of yelling, but I didn't like. I don't think it was as um, sort of uh, you know. It certainly wasn't as courageous and uh, sort of against type ish that Demise was. Anyway, I thought that she got robbed, um, and I didn't really care for Honora. But and I was surprised that Adrian Brody won only because Timothy Chalamet won the SAG award, and I thought, oh, maybe. Um, and Adrian Brody's speech, like, it was far too long and it was very self-indulgent. But he's clearly been through some dark shit in the last 20 years about because there was a lot of self-doubt, self-loathing, um, sort of doomsday stuff about career, and it was that seemed like in the middle of therapy discussion that was happening on that stage. It was very strange. Um, I love that the guys uh, from the documentary about Israel and Palestine won and used their time to talk about and the ability for the people of both of those lands to be able to live and prosper um, together if we'd stop. And it was basically if we'd stop interfering. And it's interesting given the whole discussion with Ukraine. But I mean, we do meddle too far on the side of Israel. Um, but that's foreign policy that's way beyond my pay grade. I don't get paid for any of it. um, and I was worried that Conan was going to be a really awkward host, and he did a few sort of trademark awkward things, but he was actually quite entertaining. Um, I did enjoy his joke about Honora having after winning two awards, saying, "I guess Americans really do like seeing someone stand up to a powerful Russian." Um, yeah. Uh, I was annoyed that it ended 15 minutes early so that they could do an American Idol commercial. That sucks. Um, and because I'm not watching American Idol, fucking Carrie Underwood, fuck you. Um, anyway, that's I'm babbling now. But I just sort of wanted to get in a little bit of post mortem from the last one. All right, let's move on to Tuesday.